Now, let's discuss who the right person is to win here. And my suggestion for the two people who are going to debate this with me is, isn't it time for the person to matter more than the party? I know we're not ready to be a nation yet and to just put country above everything, but shouldn't the person matter no matter what party they're from? All right, let's have former White House Communications Director Stephanie Grisham and former Georgia GOP congressional candidate and former U.S. Army Captain Jeremy Hunt, both here to give their take. Stephanie, I'll start with you. Do we believe that the party has had enough and that Republicans want a Republican who doesn't just have the R after their name, but has credentials, character, the kinds of things that you guys used to bank on exclusively?
My short answer is yes. Look, everybody's got character flaws. Everybody has skeletons in their closet in a past. But I think that if there's going to be a candidate, they need to be able to explain some of their policies. And so I think people, and especially with the midterms, I think we saw it. I think people want to see candidates and legislators who have policy ideas and who can go and actually legislate and work together and try to work for the American people rather than all the fighting and the character assassination and the misinformation.
Now, Jeremy, I'm going to come at you strong on this, but for good reason. You know, it bothered me, our last conversation, and I did more homework on you. You are exactly the kind of guy I would like to look to for leadership in this country. Okay? You serve the country.
I appreciate that.
You're smart as heck. You care about the right things. Herschel Walker has nothing for you on paper. And I'm not saying this because you're both men of color. I'm saying as people who want to lead. I mean, shouldn't it matter to you that this man is not qualified to be in the most deliberative body in our democracy? The Senate matters. Shouldn't your candidate reflect true expertise and being able to get in there and hit the ground running?
Well, first, let me just say this. Herschel, he's a business owner. He's signed both sides of a paycheck before. So he does have a lot of experiences to bring to the table. But what's most important, what I think, in terms of the future of our party, we need folks who are actually in communities, talking to voters, listening, and actually understanding what the concerns are of the base that they are trying to represent. And so I think that's extremely important. And for what we see on a lot of different sides right now are people that show up, in different states around the country with their long policy answers, and they're 1 point and 2 point this, that they don't even, honestly, never even comes to fruition. So I think having people who are willing to listen and actually sit down, come to the table, and talk to people on both sides of the aisle, I think those are the kind of candidates that we need in our country.
Listen to this. This is from Rolling Stone, okay? And again, this is no disrespect to Herschel Walker. I love watching him on the field, and I'm not judging him as a man either way. As Stephanie said, everybody's got problems. But the U.S. Senate, the guy's never been in public service before. Georgia Republicans aren't stupid, but they see safety in stupid politicians. The stupidity of Herschel Walker isn't a problem for them, it's a feature. And writing off Georgia Republicans as country idiots is a kind of smug, lazy thinking that oversimplifies a complicated political problem, not just in Georgia, but across the country. Walker wasn't nominated to govern. He wasn't nominated to bargain. He wasn't nominated to formulate policy. He was not nominated to exercise judgment. He was nominated to mash the R button whenever a vote comes up, no matter what. Jeremy, fair or unfair?
Unfair. I think Herschel Walker was nominated to represent the people of Georgia, and that's what we're hoping. That's why we hope he gets across the finish line today. But let me say this. There is such a disconnect between rural, working-class voters and the coastal elite that are running the Democrat Party and, frankly, parts of our own party these days, too. We need to keep that in mind. We should actually care about all Americans, not just college-educated Americans, but we should be caring about the people in communities around Georgia whose lives are worse off today than they were years ago. So those are the kind of issues that we have to care and think about. And I know we have to get outside of our bubble, outside of our elite bubble, and think about the people in this country who are looking at their paycheck and realizing, why am I not getting as much money? It's not going as far anymore. If you look at the price of groceries today and gas, those are the types of issues that we have to be able to talk about. And it needs to be from a place of authenticity, and it has to be from a place of respect. And that's what we want from our nominees going forward.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.